what do you think is currently the chances of Fnatic to make to quarters?
I think it's very hard to say, honestly, because if you realize this format is a complete coin flip, like one day you can get the strongest team.
Today was the second day of the Worlds 2024 Swiss stage, and in this interview powered by Holly, I am the presence of Razork, the jungler of Fnatic. And I mean, today a win is a win, you know. It wasn't too clean in the early game especially, but how do you feel about after taking on GAM and being able to finally take your first win on the board?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I think it wasn't the cleanest win. It's still a win, counts. I think we have to improve a lot in our early game and make sure that we are not starting with a massive disadvantage for no reason, and try to adapt better in the lane swap situations, because yesterday we did the two and we started losing. Today we did it too, and we just need to make sure that we are improving in these aspects for the incoming matches.
Yeah, and I mean, like, how do you react when your top laner is 3 levels behind and like 2 kills behind in 10 minutes? I mean, obviously, I think the lane swap didn't go very well, right? It's not necessarily Oscar and In's fault, but like, how do you even like react as a team when you see that the lane swap is going so wrong, like for you guys, and you need to actually like work on this and like fix it, I guess, during the game itself?
Yeah, I mean, I knew what we had to do in the lane swap, because I think they made a mistake and we should have like invade enemy bots at camp. Syra was gonna be really behind. We let the Jax get the XP and then we just tip it up. That's why I think. But when we die on Gnar and then they take all the camps, I knew it was gonna be a rough game. And afterwards, I'm playing Jarvan against Syra. Syra clears really fast, and if she can pressure lanes, she's very good at it because she's always faster than enemy jungler in the play. So I was also falling really behind. It was a little bit stressful, but I'm happy that we kept ourselves together and we knew that we are a better team than them. So, and even if we are behind, we can just win. And we had a few team fights good. I think we played well as a team and we came back.
Yeah. And I mean, we saw two very different faces of Fnatic, I feel like, both yesterday and today, because I mean, obviously you still lost against DK, but it was a very close game, and I feel like you guys did a really good job at actually coming back into that game and putting a good fight against DK, even if the ending unfortunately wasn't there. And today we saw also a very struggling Fnatic against a much weaker team as well. So like, what is going on right now with the team? Because it feels like you guys kind of lack some consistency as well with how you play. So do you have a way to explain that as well?
I mean, I would say that we got much better on coming back into the games. That's the positive, right?
Yeah.
But also the negative is like we are kind of losing every early game. So that's not great, because if enemy team is actually not making mistakes, like top Asian teams are actually making very little mistakes, then it's going to be hard to come back. So for sure we have to be sharper in our early games. I think it was something that we were very good at in Summer Split, and then we were not really good at closing out the games. Now it's the opposite, so it's just try to find a middle ground on everything, and I think we will be good.
Yeah, and I mean, bouncing back on that, obviously it's very hard to have a definitive answer, right? But what do you think even like is causing this? The fact that you went from this team that is struggling to close off games but had like good early games to now not having the good early games and like being in the contrary, like how does that kind of things happen even? Is there some miscommunication with you guys? Where do the problems stem from?
Well, I think it's a mix of everything, honestly. I feel like, of course, the meta changed and there are different champions, but also the swaps are the ones that are not helping us a lot. I think at least both games that we did swaps, we were losing early game really hard. I think our strength as a team is like we have really good laners, in my opinion, and we know how to create pressure in lane. So when we can manage to do that, I think we're like a really oppressive team. But if you are actually like are playing like the map and there is one lane that is no one playing against no one, then you have to play dives and adapt. I think that's a bit worse for us, but we have to still get better at it if we want to beat the really good teams.
Yeah, and Fnatic also has a bit of a weird story going into Worlds, because it feels like going into Worlds, most teams enter the tournament at their peak level, right? And Fnatic, on the contrary, it feels like you guys had a bit of a struggling summer playoffs and also season finals. And even though you still came in second place, it feels almost like Fnatic maybe entered the tournament with some growing pains as well. So how do you like evolve from there? And do you feel like the team also still has some confidence issue, or is it better now as well?
I mean, I would say that yesterday we had a bit of a confidence issue because I feel like the players, including myself, we were a bit nervous. I was trying to like push the team to be more proactive, not be afraid, and play the way we are. And I think it will just get better and better. For example, it's first June's Worlds, so it's like a bit more normal that is not like that proactive or that. That confidence in himself, but I think he's getting better and better, and I think the team in general, we will just make sure that we are not playing scared. It doesn't matter the name plates or whatever, we just play our game, and if we lose, we lose. If we win, we are like showing our best.
Yeah, fair enough. And I mean, in the LEC, you were always considered as one of the best junglers, right? And I think you yourself hasn't shied away from saying that, because I know you have pretty good confidence in yourself as well. Where do you currently see yourself among World's junglers? And do you think that you like have what it takes to compete with even like the top junglers, like I don't know, Owner or even Wei or any of those junglers as well, like Peanut, etc.?
Well, I think they are really, really good junglers in this tournament. I don't think that I cannot face them. Like I don't feel like, oh, I'm gonna play against Wei or like against Peanut and I'm gonna get completely gapped and the game will be unplayable. I don't feel like that. I feel like they're really good and they have a lot of strengths, but I feel like they have also their flaws, and I feel like I'm the same, right? I'm very good at some things. I'm not doing very good things, some other stuff, but. I think for sure there are many junglers way better than me right now at this tournament, but I don't see myself like mega far from them. I think I can beat them.
Yeah, and I mean, what do you think you are missing to like be on the same level, if you are missing something still?
Well, I think there's a lot of things. I think, for example, Peanut is very creative, and how he moves on the map in the early game is something that is really impressive. But there are some other junglers that they are very good at. Using their time. They're like pressuring at the right times and they're farming very efficient. So I think that's something that it's not only about the jungler, it's like a team theme, but I think it's something that we are a bit lacking, and I think our mid game has gotten a bit better, but still a lot of work to put on.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, like for Fnatic, you are one of the leading figures of the team, right? You're like a bit seen as one of the captains of the team. So I want to ask, like, because obviously Fnatic has had some struggles in recent times. So does it feel like, do you feel at fault as well sometimes for the fact that Fnatic is not working too well as a team in certain games? And does it feel frustrating as well to see those macro issues and the way that you guys are struggling with some games as well?
Yeah, of course. I feel like, I mean, I take a lot of responsibility on like the team in general. I feel like I have a lot of things to like focus on in the game, and I'm completely fine taking that responsibility and assuming it. But I feel like it's like if we lose as a team. If we win as a team. Doesn't matter if someone has a bad game. I think Oscar, for example, had a really rough early game, and he still kept his mind in the game and tried to be useful, call. I think that's something that you have to put value, because it really matters. And I think today didn't show our best performance, but we won as a team, and I'm happy about that.
For sure. And a lot of people have talked about Worlds in the Berlin studio, but I want to ask two sides of it. Like, first of all, do you think that playing in Berlin has helped you guys to maybe find more comfort and even like confidence to be at Worlds, because obviously it's more of a familiar setting? Or, and also, like, do you just like being there, or are you more on the side of like being a bit disappointed that you didn't get to travel or something?
I mean, I'm a bit on the side of like I'm a bit disappointed. It's not that the fact that I didn't travel somewhere, it's just like feels like it loses a bit the spark of like, okay, you have been playing this studio for the entire year. Don't get me wrong, I love the Berlin studio, but it just feels weird to play Worlds here. Just feels like it loses a bit the magic. And I would have loved to play Berlin, but maybe in some other place it would be amazing. But I would have loved more to play in Spain. If it was, if my possibility to choose, I would choose Spain. But I don't mind. Like Worlds still worse. You play against the best players in the world and teams, so you should always be excited about that.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of Spain as well, obviously recently we had an interview with your parents actually, and I know they play a big part in your life, right? And also represent so much for you. So like, what would it mean for you to even like be able to make it to quarters? And are you really like fighting to make them proud as well at Worlds this year?
I mean, of course, my parents and my brother has been supporting me all the way, and it feels nice that they are like backing me up and cheering when I win, backing me up when I lose. And I mean, making 2 quarters, it will feel good because they will probably be happy, but I will also be very proud myself because I really want to go to Paris. I really loved when I played there in Montpellier, and it will be a great experience to play there in quarterfinals of Worlds. It will be like a next step to my goals in my mind.
Yeah, and I mean, just taking into account the first 2 days, what do you think is currently the chances of Fnatic to make 2 quarters?
I think it's very hard to say, honestly, because if you realize this format is a complete coin flip. Like one day you can get the strongest team. Now Billy is, for example, 1-1. So there is one guy that's gonna get probably one of the strongest team in LPL. So it's gonna be hard, but I believe. Like the theme of these words is make them believe, no?
True.
So just believe.
Well, do you have anything to say to the Fnatic fans to make them believe in you just in that case?
I mean, not really. The only thing I'm gonna say is like, I'm sorry for giving you these games. I mean, you're probably used to it already because you have been supporting us for a while. And this type of games, it's just like Fnatic style. Even the Damwon game yesterday, you never know what's gonna happen in our games. So that's the fun of being a Fnatic fan. And that's it. I hope you enjoy, and we will give you more heart attacks in the future.
Well, more heart attacks. I mean, the doctors of your fans are going to be very happy to hear that in any case. But Razork, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you.
For viewers, just a reminder, we are sponsored by Holy. Make sure to use the code SE5 at checkout for €5 discount on any purchase. And for now, it's going to be all for us today, but I hope to talk to you again soon. I really hope that I'm going to be able to talk to you in Paris as well. It would mean so much. I wish you the best of luck in the rest of the tournament, and I wish you a good draw in the next round as well.
Yeah, praying.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.